Hi neighbors, and welcome to Miracle Farm 1927 Homestead. We are going into the sorghum patch today, and that's what's right behind me. Several people have said, boy, you got some tall corn out there, but it's not corn, it is sorghum, and we will make sorghum molasses out of it. And I'm taking you in here with me today to check and see if there's any aphids. The number one thing that's a enemy of sorghum is aphids. So we're going to check the leaves and see if there's any more out there. We have been working real hard all week at Miracle's place to get her fence up, and so next week there'll be a nice video about that and her cows getting to be in their new pasture. So we are just really super excited. So everything around this farm has got behind, and including checking on these aphids. So we're going to go, I'm going to take you with me now, and we're going to check on them, and we'll decide what to do next. I've got all kind of help out here. Got Wobble Baby and Sassafras. And what we're doing is I'm going to look on some of the lower leaves, and I have to lift them up and look under them. And the other sign that I'm looking for is ants. When aphids poop, they poop out sugar and they draw ants. The other thing that I'm looking for are the good guys. See, that's just dirt splashed up on them. The good guys that I'm looking for are the ladybugs. And they love aphids as one of their favorite foods. Okay, so I just found my first little batch. This is a very small amount right there. Okay, there's the ants. See, I didn't even see the ants. They weren't on top. And what I will do is I will go ahead and strip off some of the bottoms of these leaves, and that's something I'm really behind in. I have not came out here. I usually prime off at least knee-high the leaves at the bottom, because that's where they seem to get. Now them just look like they're sitting still, but they're actually moving, and this little camera just will not pick that up. So I'm going to lay this leaf in the alleyway here, and so I can pick it up on my way out. One of my biggest defenses against aphids is doing just that. I'll come in here and I'll just take off these bottom leaves, because that's where they start, and I'll check them. I'll leave them on the ground for more mulch around the sorghum plants. So next week the fence is going to be all done, and I'm going to get Miracle in here to help me. I've been helping her real good, so she's going to come and help me, and we'll get all these lower leaves off. The other thing we'll do is we got little suckers like this little plant here. This little plant will never get the size it's supposed to, because it's just a sucker off the main plant. And we will go ahead and break them off. I'll go ahead and check it for aphids. But it keeps the main plant from growing. So that's a few chores in the sorghum that has not been done. And from what I'm seeing, I'll go over onto some other rows. From what I'm seeing, the aphids just are not established yet. Last year, I did not even spray, but I kept all the bottom leaves off. So, okay, this is different. You see that little patch right there at my finger? Those are ladybug eggs. So you got to know the difference. They're a little bit darker in color, and as they get bigger, they will absolutely change color. They get more orange. So these guys are not going on the ground. I'm trying to do this with one hand. They are going back up on the sorghum plant. And that leaf will stay up there long enough for those ladybugs to hatch. And the other way I get ladybugs in here is I've planted flowers on the outside edges of the sorghum. So that attracts my beneficial insects and doesn't really attract the aphids, which is the biggest enemy. The aphids that like the sorghum are not flower kind of aphids. Oh, there's some right there. Okay, I gotta get this back with this other one. Now usually I've got a bucket out here. Today I'm just checking. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't overrun with aphids. It looks like, from what I've seen so far, that I can come through here with a bucket and put all these leaves that have aphids in it in a bucket, and then I'll just drown them. If it gets too bad, I have an organic spray that will come in and just spray the underneath of the bottom leaves and get rid of them. And usually, from what I'm looking at, we'll probably only have to do that one time if we do it at all. We didn't have to do it at all last year, and I was real thankful for that. So I have spray from 2 years ago, but I think it's neem oil. I wanted to find you one that's heading out. They're just putting their heads on. We actually planted a week late. Not late, we planted a week later so that we could wait till it was cooler to cook, because it's so hot when we cooked last year at the end of, let's see, September. So this year we want to be able to cook in October when it's a little bit cooler, and where sorghum can take a little bit of frost, very little. Our frost date here isn't until October 15th. And usually when it does come, it's a tiny little frost. So they are just on time for that time. Last year they got too ripe, and we didn't like that. They need to be real nice and green like this. When the sugar content gets high, they kind of turn. I saw a few leaves. Here's one down here. This is an older leaf. This pretty burgundy color. But the whole plant will get like that, and we do not want that. So everybody's starting to head out. Everybody will be heading out next week. Looks like they're all right on schedule. And they're absolutely beautiful. We don't have much of a aphid problem, and we were going to come in here and make sure we don't by priming off the bottom leaves here and checking and carrying out any aphid infested leaves that we find. We'll carry them out and get them drowned. And it is getting, you can tell it's getting to the end of the summer, because it is getting sorghum time. And that's an exciting time around here. I come to sit down here in the shade for a minute and let you know that I'm a little discouraged. Everything's grown up, of course. It's just that time of year. But I've been away from the farm most days. My normal schedule is working all morning outside, have lunch, work all evening inside canning and cleaning. So because I've not been here much in the past couple of weeks, because helping Miracle, which I knew that at the end of the summer, but it's like you don't picture it as much. It's just a little overwhelming to see how much needs to be done. And I know my crew's going to be here next week helping me, so But I wanted to encourage you, if you get discouraged in your garden, and there's always next year, there's always a lawnmower or a tiller, you can till it all under. And some of my stuff, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I do have to keep up with the sorghum, and it's just a little bit behind, not much. And the sweet potatoes and all that's doing really good. But the flowers are full of weeds, and I usually keep those out, and hadn't been able to do that this year just because I've not been here, and I knew I wasn't going to be here. So anytime you get discouraged, just remember, I'm helping somebody else, and I'm helping somebody else with their dreams, and I've put my little plans, dreams, whatever you want to call them, on hold. And that's why my stuff just my house looks as bad as everything else. Because sometimes when we get home late in the evening from working on that fence, I'm just too exhausted to do anything. And that's okay. So if you come in my house and see dust bunnies, or they wouldn't be bunnies, they'd be them gigantic ones with teeth. Grab a broom. That's all I can say about that. And I understand. I've got friends that are homesteaders too that are working on different projects. And so when I go in their kitchen and their living room and their hallway is full of vegetables and eggs and bottles to feed calves, just overlook it. So I just wanted to encourage you that if you hadn't got everything done this late summer and it's time to plant fall things, and I am going to plant a few fall things. The cows are going to get moved this weekend. And it's just getting borderline on late on that, but I do have a few little things that I do want to plant, so we're going to get them in the ground. And like the herb garden I was working so hard on, it's already growing up again, so that's something I'm going to attack again next week. But we're all there. We're all there. If you're working a job, I got a little friend. She works a full-time job, and instead of weeds taking over her garden, her flowers took over it, which is beautiful to look at. But she's got a green thumb too, so she's just blessed with flowers. And so just I guess what I'm saying is, don't be too hard on yourself. And friends and neighbors, if you come over to a homesteader's house and it's not neat as a pin, normally like it is mostly in the wintertime when we're just inside and don't have as much to do, just overlook it or offer to help. Miracle has got a friend this morning that came pick her up, and they're heading to the field to gather up some equipment that's going over to the new place and set up rotations. And her friends are starting to know, well, if you want to see me, jump in the truck and here we're going. Let's go. And that's the funny thing is, stay at home wife. Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home wife. Sweating like a pig, dirty as a pig, stink like one too. And yeah, I'm doing something. And keeping up with trying to keep you guys informed, and making sure the family has everything they need. Then we come to, my husband don't notice the dust bunnies like I do. The dust bunnies drive me crazy, but he's like, where's supper? I need supper. And so that's the most important thing. So that comes before the dust bunnies. So I just wanted to encourage you. And the kitties need petting, and the dog needs petting, and everybody needs fed. And not just the family, all the animals. The dog just laid down beside of you and rocked the whole thing because you're sitting on a chicken feeder and a planter today, so that we can level up with each other. And anyway, I just want to be an encouragement to you. And if I come to your house, I'm going to be thinking the same thing. Boy, this lady must be busy. She must be busy. Is there anything I can do to help? I'm going to go visit a friend tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be something. Can I do that for you? And I'm sure they'll be grateful. That's when you know you got a good friend. You got a good friend that comes with open hands, and if they're not helping you, they're praying for you. So that's the other thing, guys. You pray for each other because we all need it. A little friend of mine's in the hospital right now getting a feeding tube, and it's tearing me up inside. And I want him to be okay. He's just a young teenager. And but prayers are what God's listening, and all He wants us to do is ask. He's got so many things He wants to bless us with, but don't get too busy to where the only time that you talk to Him is something bad's happening to you. Oh, there you are. Oh, something bad had to happen to you before you even talk to me. Would you want to bless somebody like that? I wouldn't. No, God's not like that. He's a whole lot nicer than I am. But anyway, guys, I'll let you go. Get back to your day. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's kind of a little unusual video this week. I've just not been at the farm as much, and I'm not going to take you around my dirty house to show you that. So we'll get back to more canning and gardening next week. So love you guys, and we do so much appreciate you being here. And on the way out, if you hadn't already, would you please like this video, write a crazy comment to me, even if it's just a heart, or you can send me little devil horns if you don't like it. And it does help us out. And like I said, we love you. Praying for you. I've already prayed for you this morning. If you're watching this, you have been prayed for. And we love you. Take care.